Hello and welcome to Not My Usual Read. This is Chapter 2, where we are halfway through our first book choices for each other. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Jenny.
And we thought we'd start the show by just, seeing what's up with each other. So what's up with you, Jenny? What's going on?
So we just got back from Galveston. We were there for an art teacher conference. That's why I was there. And you and I did some really cool stuff around Galveston. We went and saw a bookstore. We got some artwork, and we went on a ghost tour. That was so fun. No, it was okay. We saw no ghosts though, so I'm a little disappointed. And the tour guide was doing his best.
Yeah, I think the tour was supposed to be an hour and a half, and it was almost 3 hours.
It was so long.
Forgetful. He was pulling out his notes and his phone a lot.
He was a nice guy.
He's very nice. But that's, if it was $25 a piece, and we tipped him.
And it was like
If it was more like $5, I think I would have.
Yeah, and it was just like first.
It's kind of like hiring your friend to just like walk around town.
Yeah, first 5 minutes, I was just like, man, this is gonna be long.
Yeah, first 5 minutes, I think he repeated himself like 3 times. Kept saying the same things, and I was like, oh boy, we're still here. We can leave now if we wanted to.
No, it was.
Pretend
we were locked in. It would have been so rude.
Pretend I had stomach problems or something.
So what's new with you?
Not a whole lot. So I'm back in school. I passed my first class last Wednesday. Starting my next one probably tomorrow. I have doing some job interview stuff right now as well. So we got a lot going on, and this podcast.
Yeah.
Jenny and I are also big rock climbers, so trying to get better at that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, keeping busy.
Lots of falling.
Lots of falling.
And climbing.
Lots of getting stronger. Lots of calloused hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't like that?
So, I am so excited for us to get into it.
Yeah, I think I'll go first. I think you went first last time.
Sure.
So I'm doing Fourth Wing, and I'll give you basically what like the synopsis on Goodreads is, just in case you haven't read Fourth Wing. And I am literally like halfway, so I'm on chapter 20. I think that's like page 242. It's just under 500 pages, so yeah, like pretty much halfway through, as halfway through as you can get. So we have 20-year-old Violet Sorengale was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now, the commanding general, also known as Tough as Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of cadets striving to become the elite of Navarre dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone, and they do talk about her being smaller than everyone a lot, when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond to fragile humans. They incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her for just being her mother's daughter, like Xaden Ryerson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. God, that RQ really
Riders Quadrant.
Throwing me off. Yeah.
Tongue twister.
She'll need every edge her wits can give her just to see the next sunrise. Yet with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly, the kingdom's protective wards are falling, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret.
Oh my god.
Friends, enemies, lovers, everyone at Basgayath War College has an agenda, because once you enter, there are only 2 ways out: graduate or die. Which I don't know why they don't say that in the book. The book says ride or die, which they also go into that as well.
Which, how metal is that?
Yeah,
ride or die.
Oh man, it's so metal.
Okay, so do you want to tell us the rating on Goodreads?
Yeah, so out of Goodreads, 4.57 out of 267,000 reviews. Only released a year ago, released in 2023. I don't even know if it's been a year, because I didn't look up at the exact month, so it could be less than a year, but probably a year. Which is crazy, because there's already 2 books out, right? She must have had these locked and loaded.
Yes, there's 2 books, and the 3rd is coming out in January. Oh yeah.
Wow, yeah, so
Onyx
she must have just been ready.
So excited.
So before I kind of get into what's going on, I like to do a funny review. And the only one I could find that was not literally paragraphs upon paragraphs upon paragraphs. There's a lot of those. There was one that said just no.
Just no.
Yeah.
I love it. Short and sweet, really.
Short and sweet, yeah. And it kind of like, and like I'll kind of preface this. I'm not saying this is like the greatest fantasy book ever. Maybe some people do. Like I don't think this is going to replace like Lord of the Rings or like Dune or things like that. But it is a fun book. It's a fun read. People need to stop taking themselves so seriously, which I think I kind of said last week too. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay to just read something that's just, you know,
Fun.
kind of fun. Maybe it's a little stupid. Maybe it's a little gimmicky and tropey, but like whatever.
I
Just
have a
fun.
question about the tropiness.
Yeah.
So I'm excited
just
that you
read
said
it.
that
It's a
word.
quick read. It's not like it's.
I know, and you were kind of concerned because it is thick.
Yeah.
They're all really.
No, there's always a lot of stuff going on, so like it's not like a slog. You know, I think she's a decent enough writer. I wouldn't say she's like, oh my god, her prose is incredible, but like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's a fun read.
I think that too. I was just watching a book talker talk about like how she's a dummy reader, and I really related to that because it's like, you know, I think that it's so cool for the people who can be like super theoretical and like get into what is the meaning behind this, and I'm just enjoying what I'm listening to or reading, you know. Like, man,
Yeah.
I probably will forget a couple of those plot things, those details, and nuggets. But
Yeah, I mean, at least that's not me yet. I know some people have like, you know, pens and like mark up the book and all this stuff that speaks to them. It's like, I don't know, I just read.
I know I've seen that too. It's a big trend where it's like, let's highlight this. And I'm just like, there was some pages I dog-eared. I think that's where I'm at. Because in my book, there's a lot of really beautiful, like, kind of quotes and stuff. And,
Right.
like, connections to, like, classic writers. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's beautiful, that connection. But, yes, I think it's funny whenever it's, like, a book like Fourth Wing. And it's like...
Well, a lot of people were comparing it to like Game of Thrones, and I'm like, I think you're going into it with like the wrong expectations.
I mean, it's pretty
No, I mean the
great.
fantasies, but I wouldn't say the writing is on the same level.
Sure.
It's like then you. I mean, and I'm not trying to be rude because I do enjoy the book, but it's like that's like comparing like a Game of Thrones soap opera to like the show, or you know what I mean? Like and this book kind of feels like a gossipy soap opera, which
I mean,
who doesn't
there's
like
killing.
gossip? I like gossip, so
There's a lot of death
Yeah.
in Game of Thrones, and there's a lot of death in that. And Game of
it's just the
Thrones is
stakes.
also
It's a little
really
more serious
drama.
of a book. This one is, you know.
This one has
A
so
little more
many
teen
stakes.
angsty. No, it's just like it's. I don't know. It doesn't seem quite as adult as Game of Thrones does.
Well,
is
yeah,
what I'm
it's
saying.
like
yeah.
a college. It's a war college.
Yeah, and
so
it definitely
yes.
leans into the romantasy side of things.
Well, yeah. You went into this knowing that, though. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I am going to go ahead and ask you, so far, because you're only halfway, what's one thing that you really like about Fourth Wing?
I mean, I enjoy, like a lot of people do. I like gossip, and especially when it's not affecting my life. It's nice to like.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like is soap
Drama.
opera, you know, and drama. Yeah.
I mean, it's not
a lot
that
of fun.
dramatic. It's not like people talking about other people behind their back. It's like what kind of drama?
I mean, it's pretty drama, especially with like Dane and Xaden.
Yeah, I guess
know.
you're right
It's a lot
there.
of like little drama, and then everyone hates Violet, and
That's
well, not
fair.
everyone. She does have like a core group, but
Yeah, no, that's fair.
yeah, I like that. I like that it's a quick read. You know, it doesn't take itself too seriously, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are 4 quadrants. There's the riders, the scribes, the healers, or infantry. Which quadrant would you choose if you were in this story?
I mean, I think everyone would probably want to be like a writer,
Yeah, but there's
but I
such
don't know
high
if I'd like
cost.
make it through. Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably, but then when she like went to the scribes and they like can't talk or show emotions, I'm like, well, that sucks too.
Yeah.
It's like, and I guess it didn't say, but is that person she talks to, the girl, is she deaf? Because they
Yeah,
were like signing.
Jasmine-
Okay.
Jasmina,
I'm
right?
like, can they not talk either?
No, it's
Yeah.
just her.
Okay. So, but I haven't really heard about the healers or infantry, so
Yeah. That's,
probably a rider or maybe a
mean-
healer. I don't know.
I don't know if
They
it
do like
talks
magic and stuff.
about it yet for you, but there is she talks about it. Violet, she speaks on it, how powerful scribes are just because they know everything.
Yeah.
You know? So there is power in that, but I think you're right. I think most people would choose to be a dragon rider, but it comes at a really big expense of you're always...
Yeah, and that was some of the reviews as well. They were just
Possibly
like,
gonna
oh,
die.
you're just going to kill people the first challenge, and then you just let them kill each other. Like, wow, great army, you know? And, like, I do kind of get it. I mean, it's kind of like the Unsullied, you know, in Game of Thrones, where it's just like the most badass of the badass are going to survive. The other ones aren't. They're going to get weeded out. And
Yeah.
that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah, you don't... But do you think it's too brutal, or do you think it's, like, appropriate?
I think it's appropriate, I guess.
Just in the
If they're supposed to
sense.
be these like incredible warrior fighters, then like I
Yeah.
don't think they should just be like letting everybody in. So
Yeah, for sure. So she has like a muscle disorder. I'm trying to look in my notes.
yeah, was it like EDS or
Yeah, it's
something?
EDS. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I'm hoping I said the E word right. Which affects collagen in the body. What do you think, or how do you think that Violet coped with it throughout the book so far? And what do you think about the representation for this chronic illness? Like, I think this is like...
I mean,
a major
she
thing.
doesn't really talk about it being an illness in the book.
I know. That's
So
true.
I was just like, I guess she just is like double jointed or something. And can just-
Right. Well, I know. I didn't realize that it was like an actual
yeah, actual thing.
syndrome.
I guess it's fine. I mean, she bandages her per joints and
Yeah. Do you think that it's kind of... I thought it was really cool the way that, you know, this portrayal of someone super, like, weak and kind of, like, breakable
yes, I know, so breakable,
is put in a position where...
so frail. I'm so tiny.
But she... Shush. But she's, like, put in a position of strength and power, you know?
Uh-huh.
Which I think is cool.
Yeah,
So do you like... I mean, I like the representation there.
yeah.
But... anyways, let's see. Let me get to another one. Oh, did I cite my... I don't think I did.
You can do it at the end if you want.
Yeah, we'll cite our sources at the end. Because we've got some really great questions we found. All right, so why do you think Taryn and Andarna chose to bond with Violet?
I don't know. I mean, I told you this last night. So when they first mentioned the black dragon, I was like, okay, obviously it's gonna pair with her. But then it said it didn't even show up that day. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm wrong. And then I talked about the golden dragon, how small and tiny it was, just like her. I'm like, okay, well that's obviously gonna bond with her. So I guess I was kind of right on both of them.
Yeah.
And I was wrong because I said the black dragon was Brennan's, which was her brother that died, but it was the rider that tried to save Brennan
Yeah.
that died.
Yeah.
Which maybe that's why. And I'm guessing Violet's like strong. I don't know. I mean, she's also like kind.
Yeah.
And I think it's also has something to do with the golden dragon being like small and kind of frail because Zayden's dragon, because they're like bonded now or whatever. Gross. Zayden's dragon and the black dragon Taryn are like bonded.
Yeah.
And they both are like sympathetic towards the little like golden dragon.
Yeah, like they
So it's
see
probably
her as, like...
something along the same lines, you know. They can
Yeah.
see how like smart and strong she is.
Yeah. I think that they respect that.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
When it like stood up for the golden dragon, like
So
three or four people were trying to kill the golden dragon, and she like ran in there to save it.
So she was brave and had
Yeah.
lots of strength of will. Yes. Okay. So you don't know what her signet is yet, right?
No, because I guess the golden dragon. That's what I just talked about. Like the golden dragon, that technically isn't a signet. That's like it giving its power to
Well,
Violet.
she's a baby, so she doesn't.
She's 2. She's not a baby.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. She'll have a lot of attitude.
Watch it.
And John, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but she like is too young to like control it, I guess. So yeah, it's just like giving her full power.
Yeah. In time
But yeah,
soon.
Terrence hasn't come out yet. So
Yeah. Okay, so that being said, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but what signet do you think is the most useful? Like, what magical power? That's what a signet is.
I mean, obviously, I think it'd be the in cynics or whatever, like the mind readers.
Yeah, but you'd
like super cool.
be
I
dead.
don't. Yeah, I mean, you'd be dead, but
It'd snap your neck.
I mean, it's kind of stupid. Like you could literally just like make them their own sector and just have them be like spies.
I know.
But I know you said like I guess you can't control.
Yeah, that's what they say is like. But then
I feel like you could though.
What's that?
I feel like you could. Like even they all talk about it, even Zayden does. Like he does the shadows.
Well, do you
and like
know
he
what...
couldn't control it as a first year, but now he can. And he like killed like 6 people in a room with his shadows. You know, so it's like
yeah.
I feel like once you train for a little bit, or maybe you can, maybe you just go crazy because all the thoughts just like flooding in your head. I
know that guy was like, freaking out.
Yeah.
So, no, I know. I think that that's a really good one. I think that.
But I think my favorite would probably be Zayden's. I mean, it's pretty badass.
It's super sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to. There's a lot of powers. Like, there's lots of different ones. I thought that the one. I just thought it was funny.
I mean, the mom's is cool too. She can control like storms and stuff.
Yes, that one's pretty
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
But I thought that Mira's friend's power of like, I always think that's so funny.
Oh,
when
make things bigger or smaller.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so let's see. So have you seen any of the plot points like coming? Did you make any prediction? I mean, actually, just kidding. You just said that you predicted
the dragons. Yeah.
Anything else? Or has anything like surprised you so far?
Not really. Well, I guess I forget what his name was. I think Dylan.
Yeah.
I think that was his name. Like on the wall, like on the parapet when they were crossing. Like I guess because they spent a little time like talking to each other and like describing his character, I thought he was going to be like
in it for longer.
Yeah. And then he just like slipped and died like the next paragraph.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, I think one thing that surprised me about the book too is like the flip with Imogen, because at the beginning, I mean, I know you're not super far, or you're
well, no, I
about
mean
halfway.
she's training her now, but yeah,
She's
it's
training
like
her.
all of the relics are basically nice, just because I'm sure Zayden is.
Well, now they have to.
They're
protect
bonded,
her,
yeah.
'cause
Like
they're
if he
bonded.
dies, she dies. If she dies, he dies.
Yeah. Okay, so I want
But
to
I do like Riddick a lot. I think he's my favorite
Yeah.
character.
Riddick is great, and he's like funny and kind of.
He's really nice.
Yeah, he's really nice, and he's a sweetie. All right, what do you think about the romance aspect? Like, do you have any predictions there?
Oh God, I mean, I just have no idea. Like,
What's gonna happen with Violet and Zayden?
yeah, geez, I mean, there's
They hate
no
each
way
other.
they hate each other. There's no way they're gonna hook up. Not at all. Like 0%.
Okay, you spoken your piece. Okay.
No, I mean, they're obviously gonna get together.
Okay, but I mean, do you think that there's like things that we don't know?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not too much yet, and I'm like halfway through. She doesn't like Dane anymore. Like, they kissed.
Okay.
She hated it.
Yeah, she hated
But
it.
he's a big dork anyway. It's just like...
Yeah,
I mean, I know he's like so hot and curly brown hair and... the beard with the little scar in it. But
isn't he blonde? I thought he was blonde.
I think he's brown. But... yeah, so I don't know. He's just like a big nerd.
Yeah.
He reminds me of like the head boys in Harry Potter, and you know I hate them. And I hate Percy. He sucks.
Yes.
He just reminds me of like the prefects and all those.
Yes, that's fair. He's a big old
Nerd.
stick in the mud rule follower. And he also is like super protective of Violet, which is like it's just like he doesn't believe in her.
Okay, Dad, thanks.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't believe in her.
Yeah.
And it really annoys.
Yeah, every conversation is like, get out of here. You can't handle this.
Right. It's just like.
She's like, I just passed another thing. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, right. Be proud of me. I can do this.
Yeah.
Okay. So the most common complaint I saw on Goodreads was that this book was derivative and tropey, and you even said that it was a little tropey.
Just a little bit, maybe.
Do you agree, disagree, and are there any tropes that the book subverts?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say a little bit. It's not like overly bad. Like, I think some people, like I said, some people just need to chill out and just have fun.
It's comfy. Like, I love a book.
It's a comfortable. It's not like I said. It's not super challenging to read. You can get through it pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
But I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like
But I haven't read a lot of like dragon books.
I was about to
so
say the
like
dragon
maybe
riders,
maybe the tropes like
a college, war college.
yeah, like I guess a war. But even then, like
Yeah, I know.
I don't know any other work. I mean, but I don't read like a lot
I was
of
about to
those
say
books.
for girl
so
books, it's usually like, I mean,
yeah,
a fantasy
probably.
strong female lead is my niche. I love it.
I mean, it did make me think of Aragorn. I think or not Aragorn.
Aragon.
Aragon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I read that when I was younger,
I
and
know.
that was like about like dragon riders and stuff like that. But I don't remember it at
Yeah.
all, really. I just remember
It's
the
been a
dragons.
while.
But
Since that book was released, it was
yeah,
like 2013-ish. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I think it was like around then.
yeah, it might even be before that. But yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So, how are you feeling going into the last half?
good. You've kind of said that it pops off, as the kids say.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if I want to start the second book immediately or if I want to like wait,
Yeah.
have a little. Well, we're gonna do the buddy books. I have like a little in betweener book.
Yeah. But then I would.
But I would read the second one. I think
I
right
would
now.
love that.
Right now, I would read the second one unless
Yeah.
something major happens.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the great thing about book series like this is that typically, and I'm not spoiling anything by saying this, but typically you're left in like suspense at the end, and so you're like really wanting that next book because you need information. So just keep that in mind, that there will be things revealed and then like you're like, but what, so I think that that's always what keeps us coming back. But yeah, I think that's awesome, and I'm really excited to hear about it. Those were all my questions for you.
Awesome. Yeah, why don't you tell us about Dark Matter?
Yes.
Your first sci-fi book.
I mean, I've read sci-fi before.
What sci-fi? Tell me right now.
Does Harry Potter count?
No,
That's
not
fantasy.
sci-fi.
You're right. I'll think back on it because I don't. Nothing comes directly to mind.
Yeah.
So maybe you're right.
Like adult sci-fi.
I know. Okay, that's fair. No, I think it's been really good. I was not expecting to really like get into it like I have, but it was like page 3 or 4 and they're already into it, and I really appreciated the quickness into the plot of the sci-fi. I was a little worried that it was going to be like boring through the first 2 chapters and then it would finally pop off. But
I mean, you got to set up characters sometimes.
yeah, no, and I'm with you, but I think that I really appreciated the way it just rolled right in. Okay, so let me get into it real quick. So on Goodreads, we have a 4.14, which is really nice. I think that's a good rating. 582,000 reviews.
Juggernaut, man.
What's that?
A lot of reviews.
I know, right? Well, it did come out in 2016. So Fourth Wing has a little bit less reviews, but
Half the reviews, but a better rating, which I think.
and it came out last year.
I think the book last week did as well.
What's that?
I think Horns had a worse review than your book did.
Oh yeah, I mean,
So I guess I just read crappy books. I don't know.
you be nice. It got good reviews. I will say that there was some bad comments. There's my funny bad comment. Let me find it because I put it in my notes. It is Kylie N says she gives it 1 star rating on Goodreads. Wow, never thought I've read a book where an incompetent Jason Bourne gets stuck in an endless episode of Rick and Morty. And I was like, I forgot that Rick and Morty travel time. That makes sense.
Yeah, but he's also not Jason Bourne. He's just like a dorky scientist.
I know, but like I think I read a couple of other ones where they were like, man, for a scientist, he's really stupid. And I mean, I kind of
Yeah, he's stuck in alternate realities.
well,
like,
it also
give him a
talks
break.
about how he not only gives him the, I don't want to get too much into it, but the guy that puts him into this alternate reality, not only gives him this drug that makes it safe for him to go into the alternate reality, but he also drugs him. I can't remember what drug it is. I think it's like morphine or it's some sort of drug.
Yeah.
And so for like 24 hours, he's like totally discombobulated. He wakes up, gets an acid bath, and is like in a lab tied
Well,
down.
and technically he has no, like, he didn't create this tech, right?
No.
Yeah, so like how would he?
Yeah.
He can't just be like, oh well,
I
my
know.
big science brain, I just know everything.
I know.
I know all about alternate reality time travel.
Yes. I mean, that would be cool if, like, whenever you went to another dimension, though, like, all the memories rush back. But then it would it would probably be a little confusing.
Right.
Like, really overwhelming. Kind of like the dudes that could read minds. And they, like,
Right.
were starting to lose it. Okay. So I'm going to just read you the synopsis here. Are you happy with your life? And it kind of goes into that, like, questioning their current state. Those are the last words Jason Deason hears before the kidnapper knocks him unconscious, before he awakens to find himself strapped to a gurney surrounded by strangers in hazmat suits, before a man he never met smiles down at him and says, "Welcome back, my friend." In this world he's woken up to, Jason's life is not the one he knows. His wife is not his wife, his son was never born, and Jason is not an ordinary college professor, but a celebrated genius who has achieved something remarkable.
Sounds
something
like happiness.
impossible. What?
Sounds like happiness.
I mean,
No
it's
wife,
what
no
it's
kid.
what that question preluded to.
Brilliant science. Yeah.
It is it this life or the others that's the dream? And even if the home he remembers is real, how will Jason make it back to the family he loves? So I think that it's a really cool idea. Like, I like the idea of the the multiverse.
Yeah, and it went in. It
like-
gets more into like, well, those like what if questions.
Yes.
What if I hadn't broken up with that person? What if I had gone back to school?
Yeah. I also
Which
really
is,
like.
everyone has those thoughts.
I love the connection to, and I'm gonna mispronounce this, so you're gonna have to help me. But the Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's. Thank you. I read that word and I was like, I can't even read it.
What is this word?
Well, I know the theory of the cat. Is it dead? If the
It's
box.
in two states, alive or dead.
Yes,
When
and
you
if
open the box.
when you open the box, you answer the question, and it basically. Wow, I would be a really bad scientist.
You answer the question. There you go.
Yeah, right. But, I think that that's cool the way he, like, connected that to his research. I also, so far, he's in this alternate reality. He's trying to get out. He is he's eluding these people, these scientists that he runs the lab for in this alternate reality. And I think that it's so... I do think it's a little bit like, why don't you just talk to him? I do get the fact that it's like, what if they would be upset that this isn't the right Jason? I get that. And as I've gone through, it's apparent that they're like really kind of intense and a bit violent.
Well, with endless realities, this Jason is expendable.
Yeah, I mean,
is another
that's
way to look at it.
That is true. And the other one is, we're not sure where he is. Or they don't know where he is.
He gone.
Yeah. I really like it. I really like, right now I'm in the middle, and I think it's super interesting the way, so they're back in the box, they're trying to get back. Him and this girl Amanda that works at the lab who helped him escape are trying to get back to his reality, and they've opened up all these different doors, and I think it's crazy, the multiverse, like the way he makes it feel so large. And I mean, obviously it's like you've got unlimited possibilities of the universe, but whenever they open it up and it's just like a post-apocalyptic kind of world.
Yeah, the one I remember the most is like the
Ash.
snowstorm or the ash or whatever.
Well,
Yeah,
that was
it's
the
like
very first one, was the
10
ash.
feet high or whatever.
And then the most recent one was like this snowstorm, and there's a house, and
Yeah,
there's like a
I
dead
remember
family
that,
that's like
yeah.
starved to death, basically.
Mhm.
And thank God they found the box, because I was like, it was covered in snow. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
they're going to be trapped.
Yeah, they like dig.
No, but I think that at the beginning of the process of elimination, they were being a little stupid because they were timing it. And I'm like, you're wasting all this time when you could just be opening doors. Like, just because they opened up doors and they're like, nope. And they closed it because it was like wolves. But I'm at the part right now where they've realized that anything that they kind of think of or discuss affects where they, like the doorway that they open to this new universe, or not universe, but what would you call it? Reality, thank you. Durr.
I mean, our universe, let's say.
No, but like they were talking about, gosh, I know that one version of us didn't make it, and then they open it up and it's Amanda and him in another reality trying to come into the box that they're trying to leave, and they get like murdered by the people, and they like watch it, and then they escape and they freak out, because they escaped this. And so that helps them realize, okay, everything that we've talked about so far has affected where we go. So they're going to use that knowledge finally to hopefully get back. I also really like that we're getting to see Daniela's perspective instead of, obviously it's Jason number 2. I will say though, it's kind of breaking my heart a little bit every time she's like, he's so much better. I'm like, no, he's bad. He's not your husband. I know he's like really passionate and it is new and he's more driven, but it's just like, oh, I guess I got the soft, cushy Jason that just like,
yeah,
I don't know.
We gave everything up for him, basically.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just like that sacrifice is why he has her, but it's also, what they keep questioning in their life is, am I happy because my ambitions, I chose my like family over my ambitions, and that is like the ultimate question, like what could my previous decisions have changed in my life? And I really like that kind of poetic
like a butterfly
thought.
effect.
Yeah. Okay, question me.
Ooh, straight to it. All right. Oh.
I talked for a minute. I want to...
What do you think of the science and technology in the book? If this kind of advancement in science was possible, would you want it to exist?
Okay, so at first, whenever he was going into all the science talk, I had to reread the page because I was like, whoa, buddy, hypothesis. And then once I wrapped
you're like, where's my calculator?
Yeah. I was like, wow, we got real smart real quick. And I was talking about the dummy reading earlier. I was like, oh, I need to pay attention.
Yeah, but it's not that intense, right?
No, it wasn't. I mean, thank God, because it really did
It's not like Stephen. It's not like a Stephen Hawking book. Or...
No, it was just like it kind of. I don't want to say it dumbed it down, but it was like understandable. I don't know, because if it was tried and tested, and it's like this perfected thing, like you can experience, the multiverse, and it's safe, then I would do it. But in this situation where they're like popping out, and it could be like. They don't know if it's going to be a world that's like radioactive or not. I'm good. I don't like that unpredictableness.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah, but I think that the idea is cool. I also don't think I could live my life like that though. Like in this like what ifs. I think that that's kind of unhealthy.
Well, you'd have to kill the other Jenni, right?
I mean, if
you're like, I like this one, I'm taking over this life, bitch, and kill her. Maybe
if that Jenni was as horrible as, I mean, I just think that what he's done is really horrible.
Yeah.
If I had like done all this sacrificing and like paved the way for like the perfect reality, and some ass just came in and like took over my life and
you have to worry about that. Other people coming in to take your reality.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's
you're fighting yourself.
Yeah, like because the Jason 2, I mean, whenever we're talking to Daniela, or when we see her perspective, and he's like whining and dining her at dinner, he's like, I think that this would be the best reality. And I'm like, yeah, you'd know. But I just think that like, obviously he's regretted it, but he also had the opportunity with the Daniela in his life.
Yeah.
Like, he had that opportunity. I was like, oh, I was theorizing that, like, maybe their son died in childbirth and he's just, like, built this time machine, basically, but, like, this way to get to another reality where they survived. Because that would make sense and, like, be romantic to me. But he's just an ass. Like, he basically had that opportunity, but he didn't take it. And I thought, oh my gosh, she says that she was pregnant. And he was like, no, I need to follow my ambitions. I don't want to have this family with you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, I was so mad when I read that. I was like, okay, I hate him. You don't get to just, like, take somebody who chose that past life after you did all the things you wanted to do. You big cheater. That's not how it works. Anyways, next question.
How do you feel about the book being this sort of love story thriller sci-fi? Is it a good first step into the sci-fi thriller genre?
Yes, I needed the romance. It's a lot of bittersweet moments that kind of make my stomach flip. Like, which it's just like, whenever they first, going back to whenever Jason 2 goes into Jason, like he goes into the life of regular Jason with our Daniela, the main characters. I think it was like a weird thing to wrap my head around, because I was like, is this cheating? I mean, she doesn't know, so not for her. But it made me feel bad for Jason too. I was like, oh, yeah. She's talking about like how he's such a good like love maker, and how he's like so passionate, and he's never looked at her like this, not since they started dating. And I'm just like, you like him more than you like yours.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I enjoy the romance. I think that this book has been more cutthroat, like killing people willy-nilly. I'm not going to say names or details because I don't want to spoil it. But it was just like, I cried in the middle, because it was just like, because there's so many expendable characters, because there's different realities, I was not expecting some of the things to happen, you know?
Right.
But I need the romance, at least for this like segue into it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, who do you think is the person in the mask?
Jason 2. What do you mean? Obviously it's Jason 2. Do you think there's, oh my gosh, I swear, if there's like some crazy twist that it's like Jason 1, but Jason,
more Jasons?
I'm going to be really confused. And I mean,
it's Jason 3 pretending to be Jason 1.
Oh.
No, I don't know.
No, I know. That would be crazy. But now that we're talking about it, I'm going to be like, I suspected it.
When the novel switches to Danielle's point of view for the first time, were you surprised by the scene that takes place? Were you confused? What did you think was happening?
Okay, so I knew, because the guy in the mask was asking leading questions like, what does she go by? And what do y'all have planned for the week? I'm like, Jason 1, don't say crap. Like, but he just like was like talking away, because he thought that would save him. I thought it was exciting. At first I was kind of confused. I was like, is this our other our other dude's perspective? And then I was like, oh no, she's in the shower and it's her thoughts. I thought it was really cool. I was not expecting it. And I enjoyed it, but I also, like I said before, I got a little mad at her. I was just like, oh, your dude is just like in an acid bath and like being poked at and prodded, and like he's so confused and in so much like he just wants to get back to her, and she's just like living it up, being romance.
She doesn't know.
What?
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know. You're right, and I do understand this. Like, I mean, obviously, if your man like, or if your partner just like out of nowhere was like back to like day one, you know, of just like being completely in love with you again. I mean, obviously we're in love, obviously, but you know, it gets like routine. It gets
if I come home and I'm like, oh, man, where do we keep the plates in this in this kitchen.
Yeah, I mean,
What?
there is a perspective where it's like she like lists all the things that is different about him, and she's like questioning it, like, is he having an affair? Like, what's going on? At least she's noticing these things, because that shows me that she actually,
You would have to.
I know, but like, I mean, it just shows me that like she like cares about her husband. Obviously she cares about her husband, but it's just, I think that it's good that she's like noticing these things. But yeah, I think she's like, this is too good to be true.
Okay, last question. And it kind of goes back to what we were talking about a minute ago. If you were to be beset by countless other versions of yourself, how do you think that would turn out? How would you overcome them? Would or should you even try? At what point does returning to your reality become a fruitless or fruitful endeavor? In other words, can you ever truly return home?
I mean, I sure hope so. Because, like, unless, like I said, I mean, it makes me think of Everything Everywhere All at Once. The movie where she's just, like, jumping dimensions accidentally. And every time she jumps to a new dimension, she has back knowledge of that dimension.
Right.
Like, it comes with her experience. And I think that that's what this book is lacking. Like, if I got stuck in another reality and I just had like 15 years of not knowing what my present self in this reality's backstory is, I would be distraught and like lost. I wouldn't feel connected to the people that I'm supposed to feel connected with. So yeah, I would try and go home unless I had those things like a backstory.
I guess, but how would you ever truly know you're back home? It's kind of like Inception. It's like, does it wobble at the end? Is he dreaming or is he awake? Because it's like, wouldn't you always be afraid that, alternate reality Jenny's going to come walking through the door and you're not actually home?
Well, as of right now, it seems like they're pretty different, obviously. But like, I guess you're right. Like, there could be one that's like slightly different. Like one small...
Just close enough, yeah.
Yeah, one small little difference.
Like your kid has black hair instead of blonde hair. That's the only difference.
Yeah, that would be crazy if like the next one he goes into is actually... Because I'm at the part where he's about to go in what we think is that reality. But that would be crazy if he went into something that he thought was the reality. He fights off this other Jason and be so confused.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that would be so trippy. I think, though, as far as myself goes, I don't know if I could really take another Jenny. Like, if it was, like, a strong-willed Jenny, like, that's super smart, has figured out time travel.
Right, like this Jenny just works out 7 days a week. She's a beast.
She's super hot. Like, she's got her shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would be, like, a goner. I'd be like, all right, I'm just going to go over to your realm, I guess, and figure it out. No, I don't know. I feel like I'm too nice. I feel like, can I please have my world back, please? I try and be sneaky about it.
Yeah.
But
okay.
yeah. No,
right.
You're really bringing in some, like, theories, though, the more we talk about this.
Right.
Because that would just, I have a feeling it is too good to be true that he'd immediately go back. It's only been like a day of him trying. Right. So that is...
Well, tune in next week and we'll find out.
I know. I'm so excited.
All right. I don't have more questions, so I think that'll do it for the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, tune in next Monday.
Yes.
We should be done with our books. I mean, not should, we will be done with our books.
We will be done.
We'll kind of do this again. Questions, final, maybe just run through of what we thought.
Yeah.
And yeah, tune in. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on iHeartRadio. I said Discord last week because I'm an idiot. I meant to say Spotify.
It's okay.
Also, yeah, check us out on Instagram, like Jenny said.
At Not My Usual Read.
At Not My Usual Read, yep. You're better at the gram than I am. I don't have one.
I'm trying my best. Yep. Not the most prevalent on Insta, but...
Hey, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will talk to you guys next week.
Happy reading.
All right, bye.